students, we will study today the next part of diversity of living organisms. In last two parts we have studied that the taxonomic hierarchies, binomial nomenclature and three domain system of classification. Now in this part we are going to study the taxonomical tool or the taxonomic aids for the study of taxonomy and the system of classification. So there are three main systems of the classification we will study in this part. So first we will start with the tools for study of taxonomy. They are known as the taxonomic aids also, and you know that the correct identification of an organism is essential to the taxonomic study, and based on the identification it can be placed in its proper taxonomic category. So the identification of organism can be done only in their natural habitat, which is not always possible to everybody. Therefore some tools and techniques have been developed to collect and preserve specimen samples of organism at a place where they are easily available for the purpose of study and references. And these methods or the tools or the techniques, they are known as the taxonomical or taxonomic aids. So they are required for the study of various species of plants, animals and other organisms, and they are taken from the known bioresources. Now for the study of these plants and animals, we require their correct classification, identification, their collection of the actual specimen is needed. Now here the specimens, they are gathered, stored, preserved with the information for the future studies. So some of the important taxonomic tools or taxonomic aids are herbaria, botanical gardens, zoological parks and museum. So we will study all these: herbarium, botanical garden, museum and zoological park, and we will study their role also. So first we will see here herbarium. So what is the use of herbarium? Actually it is a house of collection of preserved plant specimen. So it is a storehouse of collected plant specimens. They are preserved plant specimens. They are dried, pressed and preserved on the sheets, and these are the thick card sheets, and these sheets are known as the herbarium sheets, and these sheets are arranged sequentially, scientifically in their order of classification in the taxonomical hierarchy. And these herbarium sheets can means they provide or they carry all the information about the specimens, like the description of the specimen is also written on the herbarium sheets, the label of date and place of collection. This means place of collection here, that is the place from where the species of the plant is collected, and English, local and botanical name all are written, and the family to which the particular plant belongs, and the collector name means the person who collects that species, whose name is also written on the herbarium sheet. Now what is the role of herbaria? As we are collecting here the plant species, so they provide knowledge of the plant taxonomy, and they help in the correct identification of newly discovered plant with the help of the features. It helps in finding variations in the plant species of the different area. Yes, when we collect the plants, because herbarium is the storehouse of the preserved plant specimens. So when we collect the plants from the different areas, we are able to study the variations in the different plant species, and further these are ideal for the research and the training purposes also, and they help in the preservation of the voucher specimens also. What are voucher specimens? On which the cytochemical studies can be conducted. So this is the role of herbarium. Next we will study the botanical garden. So what are the botanical gardens? These are the institutions that maintain the collection of different varieties of the plants, like wild, ornamental, cultivators, medicinal plants, economically important varieties of the plant. So botanical garden, they are the special gardens having the collection of the living specimens of the plants. And here plants, they are grown for the identification purpose. Plants, they are labeled with the botanical or the scientific name and the family also in the botanical garden. Now what is the role of the botanical garden? They are important places for the systematic study and the research on the flora of the region. Flora means the plants. So the type of plants which are found in the particular that area or the region, we can study in the botanical garden. They provide knowledge and expertise in plant taxonomy, horticulture, biodiversity and ecology. As well as this botanical garden, they serve as a repository for authentically documented living plant material. Like in herbarium, we collect the dead species of the plants, but the botanical garden is actually the storehouse of the authentically documented living plant material. And also botanical garden, in the botanical garden we grow and maintain rare and endangered plants, so it provides the necessary germplasm also for the ecological restoration. Then botanical garden help to raise awareness among the general public of the need and benefits of the ecological restoration. These gardens, they attract people also who are interested in gardening by supplying new varieties of the seeds of ornamental plants. And these gardens, they provide job opportunities also for plant biologists and the local gardeners. So these all are the that role of the botanical gardens. Now we will study the next taxonomic aid, that is the museum. So what is museum? Museums, they also have the collections of the preserved plant and animal specimen for the study and reference. So the biological museums, in the biological museums, plants and animal species are preserved in glass jars with the help of preservatives. So specimens, they are preserved in the containers and the glass jars in the preservative solutions. Okay, and these museums, they are set up in the educational institutions also, and these specimens, they may be also be dried and preserved. Sometimes specimens of dead birds and tigers may be stuffed. So the different ways are there to preserve them. Dry specimens for insects, insect boxes are used after collection and killing and pinning is done. Large animals, they are stuffed and then they are preserved. So stuffed specimens of tigers and birds we see in this museums, and the skeleton of the museum, they are skeleton of the animals, they are also preserved in order to study the their skeletal system. So what is the role of the museum here? They maintain the systematic record of the biological specimen, as well as they help to study the characters of old and extinct specimens. Yes, the specimens, which means the animals which are not live now, so they are dead, so they are extinct specimens. And they keep the specimens on display for the common people also by holding the exhibitions on the special occasions. These museums, they help to educate the common people and generate awareness about the flora and fauna. Flora means the variety of the plants and the fauna means the animals also. So this is the museum. The next taxonomic aid we are going to study is the zoological park. So what are zoological parks? So a zoo is a place where various living animals are kept in the protected environment within enclosures. So zoological parks, they are the places where wild animals are kept in protected, under the protection of the there and under human care, under protection and human care. And here one can learn the food habits and the behavior of the animals also, because in modern zoological parks animals are given high standards of care and animals live under more natural conditions, and these are on display to the general public also. So the that we can get the knowledge about the food habits, behavior of the animals, and about the conditions which are provided to these animals, which are the natural habitat. So what is the role of the zoological parks? That in the zoological parks animals are kept in under protection. They are the repositories of the threatened wildlife. Threatened means whose life is in danger. So they provide that place there of threatened wildlife, and storehouse of the knowledge on animal behavior, their breeding habit. They are very useful in spreading knowledge on the wildlife diversity in the various states, selected ecosystems, and the animals provide better means of recreation also to the visitors. They help in taxonomic study of fauna of a region. Fauna means the animals. They provide database for the recorded species of the country, means one can know that these are the varieties are there, or these are the species of the animals found in our country. They provide training in the area of animal upkeep and the maintenance. So this is the role of the zoological parks. So understood children, that these taxonomic tools which we have studied: biological museum, herbarium, this is botanical garden, and zoological park. Now next we will study here the taxonomic keys or the key. So what is the key? Taxonomic key or the key, it is the another taxonomic aid used for the identification of plants and animals based on the similarities and the dissimilarities. So this key is used by biologists for identifying the unknown organisms. So taxonomic key is used by biologists for identifying unknown organisms. It is useful tool for the identification of the species based on similarities and dissimilarities. Now these keys are based on contrasting characters, generally in pair, and we called it as the couplet. And in this process the choice is made between two opposite statements are there. So two opposite options, accepting one and rejecting another one. Each statement in the key is called as the lead, and by following the correct lead at each step of the key, the user is ultimately able to identify the specimen. So they are analytical in nature. So let we see, understand this taxonomic key with the help of an example. So taxonomic key is a device that biologists use to figure out, to identify that what unknown organisms actually are. So to identify the unknown organism, and the key is made up so that you answer a series of questions about the characteristics and an answer is narrowed down. So let we understand this, how these different keys are used to identify an organism. So here suppose we want to identify these following animals. So let me see here what are these animals, including human. Here gorilla, tiger, lizard and salamander. So we have to identify these animals. So first we have to identify the distinctive features of each member of the group. Distinctive feature means their characteristic features by which they can be differentiated. So first we have to identify the distinctive feature. Then we'll ask the questions about them in such a way that only one of the two alternative is possible, that is yes or no. Okay, so we'll start with the first question, that does it have the dry skin? Okay, if yes, then go to the point 2. If no, then it is salamander, because it belongs to the amphibia and it has that moist skin. Understood? If yes, then again, does it have opposable thumbs? No, it means it is lizard. Yes, then again we will ask the question here that does it show bipedal locomotion? Bipedal locomotion, here opposable thumb, if yes then we will ask this question, if no then it is tiger. If yes, then does it show bipedal locomotion, means that walking on the two legs. So if it says no, then it is gorilla, it does not show the bipedal locomotion. If yes, then it is the human. So understood children? In this way this taxonomic keys are used to identify the unknown organisms. So this is all about the taxonomic tools or aids. So after this we will study the main systems of the classification. Okay, before that we will see here the taxonomy and its types. Yesterday we have done the taxonomy, but the types are remaining. So first we will do this, and then after we will study the main system of classification. So what is taxonomy? It is concerned with the naming, describing and classifying organisms. So this is the branch of biology deals with the classification. Now this taxonomy is further using the various ways to classify the organisms. So on that basis they are named differently. The first, the type of taxonomy, that is known as cytotaxonomy. So it is the taxonomy in relation to cytology, that is the structure of cell. So the cytological characters of the chromosome number, morphology and chromosome behavior during meiosis, they are used in the taxonomic studies, and they provide an idea of the genetic relationship between plant or animal populations. So this is known as the cytotaxonomy. Now what is chemotaxonomy? Chemotaxonomy is actually scientific process or approach of classification of living organisms on the basis of biochemical constituents. You know, the body of the living organism is made up of many biochemicals, including the protein, carbohydrate and lipids. So if this is also taken in consideration for the classification, then this is known as the chemotaxonomy, or application of chemistry to systematics is the chemotaxonomy. Now the third type of taxonomy is the numerical taxonomy. It is understood from the name, numerical means the number. So in numerical taxonomy, several characters are selected equally and used to evaluate the similarity of the organisms, and by using the mathematical methods and the computer. So these characters, these similarities, they are calculated by using the mathematical methods and computer. So this is the numerical taxonomy. What are the advantage here? So advantages are there. Each character get equal importance and a number of character can be considered here. So this is numerical taxonomy. So these are the various ways to classify the organism comes under the taxonomy, and on that basis the types of taxonomy: cytotaxonomy, chemotaxonomy and the numerical taxonomy. Now we will see that main systems of classification. So what are the main systems of classification? There are three systems of classification: artificial, natural and phylogenetic classification. So first we will see the artificial system of classification. What does it says? That artificial system of classification is based on few morphologically observable characters. Okay, so only one or two morphological characters for the identification of the plants or animals are done here, and this is the artificial classification system, or the ordering of organism into groups on the basis of known evolutionary features are there. For example, grouping together of plants according to the number and situation of their stamens, style, stigma, rather than their evolutionary relationship. Example here, the lineage system is the example of the classification, natural classification. So what this Carl Linnaeus, he classified plants on the basis of number of stamens and the cohesion. And some other scientists also, like Theophrastus was the scientist who classified plants into 4 groups on the basis of their habit, namely herbs, undershrubs, shrubs and trees. So this is based on only few observable characters. So these artificial systems were easy to use because only a few characters had to be recognized, and this classification was rigid. However, major drawbacks of these classification was that often totally unrelated plants also were grouped together, and those that were closely related were placed in the separate groups. So these classifications would change whenever the new information was incorporated into the system. So now we will see the next that system of classification. What is the next system of classification? Next system of classification is the natural system of classification. So it is a system of classification based on natural similarity and the relationship. This classification was proposed by Michael Edison, and it was used by the Bentham and Hooker also for the classification of plants. So in this system of classification, it is based on the large number of features. Okay, so here it based on the many features, internal and external both, and it uses information from many branches of biology like morphology, anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry, ultrastructure, and all these branches of the biology they were used to get the information. So unlike the artificial system of classification which were rigid, this natural system of classification, they are flexible. So this kind of information when we are getting from the various branches of the biology, they helped in placing the closely related texts together or close to one another. And most classification in use today are natural, and they aim to reflect a phylogenetic relationship, that is the historical evolutionary relationship between the organisms. So understood the natural classification system. Now we will see the phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogeny means what? Phylum means the tribe or race, and gene means the genera. So phylogeny means it refers to the evolutionary development of a species, and phylogenetic classification means what? It is based on the basis of evolutionary relationship. So this system of classification are mostly based on the evolutionary relationship. In this system, emphasis is laid on the certain pre-selected characters which are considered to be phylogenetic importance, and the evolutionary relationship is represented through a diagram that is referred to as the phylogenetic tree, because here the evolutionary relationship is represented with the help of a diagram, and that diagram is known as the phylogenetic tree. Some examples of these phylogenetic this classification, they are the classification done by the Engler and Prandtl, and some scientists also they did some experiment like Woos and Fox. They were able to assess the evolutionary relationship between microbes causing nucleotide sequence. So one or two examples you will learn, like the Hutchinsons and Takhtajan, they also classified the plant, and Engler and Prandtl also they classified the organism on the basis of the their evolutionary relationship. So students, you will study the difference also between all these systems, like the difference between artificial and natural. Like artificial, which is based on the few characters, natural is based on the large number of characters. Artificial has only the morphological similarities, while the natural has all kind of branches of the biologies are used. So biological similarities in account, like DNA, RNA, protein, everything it is used. And artificial system, it was a rigid system, while the natural system, it is a flexible system of classification. So in this manner you will differentiate between this system of classification also. So we'll come to the end of the today's lecture and learn all these key terms: taxonomy, taxonomic tools or taxonomic aids which we have studied, that is herbarium, botanical garden, zoological parks and museum. their definitions and role you have to learn. Means role means what is the purpose, use of all these herbarium, botanical gardens, zoological parks and museum. Then taxonomic key, use and an example, chemotaxonomy, cytotaxonomy, then numerical taxonomy, then the systems of classification, that is natural system of classification, artificial system of classification and phylogenetic system of classification. So students, read this from your book also, and learn some of the question answers from your book also, and ask your doubts.